What if your body has been warning you about high blood sugar for years, and you've been ignoring it every single day, simply because you didn't know where to look? Most people believe that diabetes is a silent disease that only a blood test can find. But in my years of focusing on senior wellness, I've seen a different reality. Long before your lab results turn red, your body is already signaling for help. And the very first place it speaks up: your feet. I'm Julian Porter, and today on the Senior Wellness Compass, we are going to look at the early warning system that most doctors overlook in a 15-minute appointment. Just last month, a patient sat in my office. Harold Miller, 67 years old, retired, felt completely fine. But when I looked at his feet, I saw 4 of the 9 signs we are discussing today. Stick with me as we reveal these critical signs and how you can spot them before they become a serious problem. He told me, "Julian, I figured the numbness was just part of getting older." His fasting blood sugar came back at 214. He had been diabetic for over 2 years without knowing it. The reason I'm making this video is because I've seen too many seniors walk into an emergency room with complications they could have prevented if they had only spent 30 seconds looking at their feet. In this session, I will walk you through 9 specific signs, from subtle skin changes to sensations you've likely dismissed as fatigue. For each one, I'll explain exactly what is happening to your nerves and vessels, and I'll give you one simple habit to protect your mobility. If you value your independence and your ability to stay active as you age, this may be the most important 20 minutes you spend this week. Let's look at the truth hiding in plain sight. To understand why your feet are the primary early warning station for your entire body, we have to look at what I call the end-of-the-line principle. Think of your circulatory system as a vast delivery network. Your heart is the central hub, the engine that pumps life-sustaining oxygen and nutrients through thousands of miles of roads, your blood vessels. Now consider the geography of your body. Your feet are at the absolute end of the longest delivery route. They are the furthest point from the pump, struggling against gravity every time you stand up. When your blood sugar stays elevated, it isn't just a number on a lab report. In high concentrations, glucose acts like a slow-moving microscopic abrasive. Understanding this end-of-the-line reality is the first step to protecting your foundation and your health. High sugar levels can have a hidden, devastating effect. It makes your blood thick and sticky, and it begins to irritate the delicate inner lining of your smallest blood vessels, known as capillaries. In a healthy body, these vessels are flexible and wide open, allowing life-giving blood to flow freely to every corner of your anatomy. But under the constant pressure of high sugar, they begin to narrow, stiffen, and eventually, they begin to close, restricting vital circulation. For a senior, this is where the danger resides. Because your feet are already at a geographical disadvantage, they are the very first area to experience a supply shortage. When the delivery trucks, your red blood cells, can't reach the cul-de-sacs of your toes, the tissue begins to starve, risking severe damage. But it isn't just your circulation. Your nerves are even more sensitive to these changes in your internal environment. Think of your nerves like high-speed fiber optic cables. To send a clear signal from your toe to your brain, that cable needs a perfect, healthy environment. Protecting your blood flow is the key to maintaining your mobility, your health, and your independence. Understanding how your body reacts to internal changes is the first step toward long-term wellness. High sugar levels act like a slow-burning acid, eating away at the myelin, the protective plastic coating of those cables. Because the longest nerves in your body travel all the way to your feet, they have the most surface area exposed to this damage. They are the first to fray, the first to short circuit, and the first to send back the garbled, confusing messages that we call symptoms. When you see a change in your feet, you aren't just looking at a foot problem. You are looking at a real-time map of your internal health, revealing what's happening deep inside. Identifying these signs early can make all the difference in your health journey. Now, before we break down the first of the 9 signs, I want to ask you a quick question. Have you ever mentioned a strange sensation in your feet to a doctor, only to be told it was just a normal part of aging? If you've felt dismissed or if you've been worried about these changes, please leave a comment below saying, "I'm listening." I read these comments because they help me understand which symptoms are most common in our community, and it lets others know they aren't alone in this journey. It also tells the YouTube algorithm that this is a conversation worth sharing with other seniors who might be at risk. Sign 1. The invisible sock. Numbness. The most common warning I hear about in my clinic isn't actually pain, it's a lack of it. Many of my patients describe a sensation of wearing a thin, invisible sock, even when their feet are bare. You might notice that the texture of your carpet feels fuzzy, or that you can't quite judge the temperature of the floor when you step out of bed in the morning. This is peripheral neuropathy in its quietest, most dangerous stage. Because high sugar has restricted blood flow to the nerve endings, they simply stop reporting for duty. The clinical reality. For a senior, this isn't just an inconvenience. It is a loss of your body's primary defense mechanism. Think about it. Your pain receptors are there to protect you. When they go silent, you could have a small pebble in your shoe, a folded sock, or a blister forming. And your brain will never receive the SOS signal. I have seen patients walk into the clinic with a localized infection, simply because they couldn't feel a tack that had been stuck in their shoe all day. If you find yourself constantly looking down to make sure your feet are where you think they are, your nerves are screaming for oxygen. Sign 2. The midnight burn. Burning sensations. While numbness is a loss of feeling, our second sign is an agonizing overreaction. Many of you might experience a strange, hot, burning sensation in the soles of your feet, particularly at night. It feels as if you've been walking on hot pavement for hours, even if you've been resting in your recliner. But you may wonder, why does this happen? As the protective insulation of your nerves, that myelin we discussed, erodes, the nerves become hypersensitive. They start firing off random false signals of heat and pain. Julian's insight. This is often the hidden culprit behind senior insomnia. You try to kick your feet out from under the covers to cool them down, but the heat isn't on your skin. It's coming from deep inside the nerve fiber itself. If your feet feel like they are smoldering the moment you lay down, it is a high priority signal. It means your glucose levels are actively irritating your nervous system, and your body is struggling to manage the inflammation. This is not just age, it is metabolic friction. Sign 7. The lightning bolt. Now I'm jumping to sign number 7 because it belongs to this same family of nerve damage. This is perhaps the most startling symptom of all. I've had patients tell me they've jumped out of their chairs because they felt a sudden, sharp zap of electricity shoot through their big toe or the arch of their foot. It lasts only a second, but the intensity is jarring. Think back to our analogy of the frayed power cable. When the insulation is gone, the current, the electrical signal in your nerve, can jump or short circuit. These lightning bolts are your body's desperate attempt to send a signal through a damaged, leaky pathway. The warning. In clinical terms, we call this paroxysmal pain. It isn't a sign that you've pulled a muscle or stepped wrong. It is a clear indication that the very structure of your nerves is changing under the pressure of high blood sugar. When these shocks become frequent, it means the damage is moving from the small nerve fibers to the larger ones. Keeping an eye on your health starts from the ground up. We need to catch this before the shocks turn into permanent loss of balance. If the first 3 signs were about what you feel, the next 3 are about what you see. As a senior, I want you to develop a habit. Once a week, take a mirror, sit in a well-lit room, and really look at your feet. Your skin is the largest organ in your body, and it acts as a canvas where your internal health is painted. Sign 4. The sunburn without sun. Skin color changes. When you look at your feet, what color do you see? In a healthy body, the skin should have a consistent, healthy tone. But when blood sugar levels are chronically high, the circulation, the delivery network, begins to fail. You might notice a deep red, purplish, or even a dusky bluish tint, particularly when your feet are hanging down while you sit. We call this dependent rubor. It happens because your tiny blood vessels have become so damaged and leaky that blood pools in the feet, and the tissues can't effectively clear it out. The clinical insight? This isn't just a cosmetic issue, it's a sign of ischemia, a fancy word for oxygen starvation. If you press your finger against a red area and it stays white for more than a few seconds before the color returns, it's a warning that your capillaries are struggling. For a senior, this is the precursor to slow-healing wounds. Your skin is losing its ability to nourish itself because the pipes are blocked by the thickening effects of glucose. Sign 5. The desert floor. Deep heel cracks. Many of my patients dismiss dry, cracked heels as a natural result of walking, or just dry skin. But in the context of senior wellness, we have to look deeper. Your body has a specialized system called the autonomic nervous system that controls things you don't think about, like sweating and keeping your skin hydrated. When high blood sugar damages these specific nerves, a condition called autonomic neuropathy, your feet lose the ability to sweat and oil themselves. Julian's warning: without that natural moisture, your skin becomes as brittle as a desert floor in a drought. These aren't just cracks, they are portals. For someone with elevated sugar, a deep crack in the heel is an open door for bacteria. Make sure to inspect your heels daily for any signs of deep cracks. Because the blood flow is already compromised, your immune system's first responders can't get to the site of the crack to fight off infection. If you are applying lotion every day and the crack still won't close, your body isn't thirsty for cream. It's struggling with internal sugar levels. Sign 9. The bald shine. Loss of hair on toes and shins. This is a sign that often surprises men in particular. Take a look at your lower legs and the tops of your toes. Do you notice a sudden bald patch where hair used to grow? Is the skin in that area unusually shiny or tight? Hair follicles are incredibly high maintenance. They require a constant, rich supply of oxygenated blood to function. When the end of the line principle is in full effect, your body makes a survival decision. It cuts off the supply to non-essential functions like growing hair to try and save the deeper tissues. The expert perspective: when I see a senior with smooth, shiny, hairless lower legs and they didn't shave them, I immediately look at their vascular health. This is a classic sign of peripheral arterial disease (PAD), which is closely linked to long-term high blood sugar. It tells me that the delivery trucks aren't even making it to the surface anymore. It's a quiet sign, but it's one of the most honest indicators of how much your internal roads have narrowed. We have discussed what you feel and what you see on the surface. But now, I want to talk about something more structural. As we age, our foundation, our feet, naturally changes. However, high blood sugar accelerates and distorts these changes in ways that can threaten your independence. Sign 3. The shifting arch, or changes in foot shape. Have you noticed that your favorite pair of shoes suddenly feels tight in the toes? Or that your feet seem to be getting wider or flatter? Most seniors assume their feet are just spreading with age. But in the world of senior wellness, a change in the shape of your foot can be a sign of motor neuropathy. While sensory nerves tell you about pain, your motor nerves control the tiny muscles that hold the arch of your foot in place. When high glucose levels damage these motor nerves, the muscles become weak and lose their tone. The clinical insight: when these muscles fail, the tendons pull unevenly, causing the bones to shift. Understanding these signs is the first step to maintaining your mobility and independence. This can lead to what we call hammer toes or claw toes, where the toes curl downward. In more advanced cases, it can lead to Charcot foot, where the arch collapses entirely. If you notice your toes are starting to grip the floor, or your shoes are wearing out in strange, uneven patterns, it is a sign that your nervous system is losing control over your physical foundation. Sign 6. The brittle shield. Take a close look at your nails. Are they becoming so thick that your regular clippers can't cut them? Do they have a yellow, chalky, or brittle appearance? Many people mistake this for a simple fungal infection. While fungus is often present, the root cause in seniors with high blood sugar is often a lack of nutrition reaching the nail bed. Your nails are made of keratin, and growing healthy keratin requires a high-speed supply of blood. When that supply is choked off by sticky blood, the nail grows slowly and becomes distorted and loses its natural immune defenses. Julian's warning: thick yellow nails are more than an aesthetic concern because they are brittle. They often curl into the skin, creating ingrown nails. For a senior with the invisible sock, you might not even feel the nail cutting into your skin. This creates a hidden wound, a silent infection underneath the nail. If your nails have changed texture or color, don't just reach for an antifungal cream. Reach for your glucose monitor. Your body is struggling to nourish its furthest outposts. Sign 8. The drunken walk. Perhaps the most dangerous sign on our entire list is a change in your gait, the way you walk. Do you find yourself touching walls as you walk down the hallway? Do you feel slightly dizzy in your feet, as if you aren't quite sure where the ground is? We have a hidden sense called proprioception. It is the ability of your brain to know exactly where your limbs are without looking at them. This sense relies on millions of tiny sensors in your joints and tendons. High blood sugar muffles these sensors. The expert perspective. When your brain stops receiving clear data from your feet, it has to guess. This results in a wide-based gait, walking with your feet further apart, or lifting your feet higher than necessary, steppage gait. For a senior, this is the #1 precursor to a fall. Understanding your body is the first step toward staying safe. If you feel like you are walking on stilts, or if you've lost confidence in your balance on uneven grass, it isn't just getting old. Your metabolic health is directly affecting your mobility. We need to address the sugar levels to clear the static in your neurological communication lines. We must address this before a fall occurs. We have traveled through the 9 signs, from the invisible sock to the shifting arch. If you've recognized yourself in more than 2 or 3 of these, I want you to take a deep breath. Recognition is not a sentence, it is an opportunity. It is your body's way of saying, I need your help to fix the road ahead. As your senior wellness compass, I don't just want to point out the storm, I want to show you the way to clear skies. Here is your immediate action plan to protect your foundation. Every evening, before you put on your slippers, perform a 60-second check. If you have trouble bending down, use a mirror on the floor to inspect your feet. Look for cracks, changes in color, or any new bald spots on the skin. This matters because of the invisible sock effect, where your eyes must become your nerves. You are looking for what your brain can't feel. A small spot today prevents a visit tomorrow. Now manage the microenvironment inside your shoes, the only climate your feet know all day. Choose moisture-wicking, seamless socks. They are essential for protecting sensitive skin. Consistent care ensures your mobility. Don't wait for pain to take action. Take a minute for your feet tonight. Your long-term health is worth the ritual. If your arches are shifting, don't just tough it out. Consult a podiatrist for proper orthotics that can provide the structural support your motor nerves are struggling to maintain. All 9 of these signs have one common denominator: blood sugar spikes. You cannot fix a frayed wire if the acid, excess glucose, is still flowing through the system. Focus on the senior plate: high fiber, lean proteins, and healthy fats that slow down the absorption of sugar. Every time you choose a 15-minute walk after a meal over a nap on the recliner, you are literally pumping fresh, oxygenated blood to the end of the line. You are clearing the traffic jam in your capillaries. This is the most important step. Take these 9 signs to your next medical appointment. Don't just say, my feet feel funny. Be specific. I've noticed a burning sensation at night, or I've lost hair on my shins. Using this clinical language will help your doctor understand that you are monitoring your metabolic health seriously. My friend, aging does not have to mean a loss of mobility. Your feet have carried you through decades of life. They've walked through celebrations, stood strong during challenges, and kept you moving toward your goals. They deserve your attention now more than ever. If you found this expert consultation helpful, please share this video with a friend or a family member. Often, our loved ones notice these changes before we do, and a simple video could be the prompt they need to take action. Don't forget to look at the first comment below for a summary of the 9 signs we discussed today. Thank you for trusting me to be your guide on this journey towards senior wellness. Hi, I'm Julian Porter. Today we're talking about the silent language of your health. Our bodies communicate with us constantly, through every step we take and every sensation we feel. Body awareness isn't just a trend, it's a vital skill for long-term wellness. Pay attention to your gait and posture while walking. It tells a story of your alignment. Observe your energy levels and how you react to different environments throughout the day. And most importantly, tune into the subtle signals, the aches, the rhythms, the quiet messages. Taking just a few moments each day to check in can make all the difference. It is a vital commitment to your future self. I'm Julian Porter. Keep walking, keep watching, and most importantly, keep listening to what your body is trying to tell you. I'll see you in the next video.